Welcome to the Healing Heart podcast, where all healing is always a matter of the heart. I'm your host, Dawna Campbell, also known as the Mind Whisperer, interviewing guest experts on all matters of healing. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode. And today we have an amazing guest aligned for you. What sets successful people apart from others? Well, it's your dedication to self-improvement. And that is exactly what Tobie Ward is all about. She has a dream of all working together in an environment that supports sisterhood, values the feminine energy, and it's really all about the journey, not the destination. So she combines her skills as a Reiki master, breath work, sound healing, Kundalini energy work. She's an artist and an author. And so she is here today to reconnect to our divinity and amplify others to change the world. So everyone, let's just quickly welcome Tobie Ward for coming today here for the Healing Heart podcast.
Oh, thank you. What a beautiful intro. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be.
I'm so interested. I usually just dive right in because I always want to know what is a little bit about your background and what got you interested to dedication to self-improvement, working with women all around, and all of the different healing modalities that you're a part of.
Well, it has been a long and interesting journey. I think of myself as always having been a very spiritual person, and I studied with Sufi masters for about 15 years from the age of 20. That was kind of the start of everything for me. But I went to college to be a therapist, and I felt like I was destined to have like a scientific mind. But over time, I got really intrigued with getting in touch with the inner self and especially manifesting. Manifesting was a big deal for me. And that led me to Tantra and the Kundalini energy work. And I also did the Reiki. I did dating and relationship work. And it's just been going since then. My most recent thing is adding the sound healing, and I'm getting ready to finish a book on Jungian archetypes in relationship. And so I have some little quizzes you can take to see what your archetype is, and then how you match with your partner and interact with them based on these ancient archetypes that we all embody.
Wow. All of that is just amazing. How many years, because you mentioned 20 years for Sufi and so long for this, has it just been a lifelong process, or was there something at a certain age that like activated for you and then you went into a spiritual pathway?
I think it's really been a lifelong journey. I was feeling like I was missing something. Truthfully, when I was a teenager, I thought there has to be rules, right? And so I was looking for the rules to have a better life, even at that young age. And but where things really shifted for me was after my kids were born, and I went through several traumatic experiences, and it made me fall back onto these spiritual roots, because I felt like I needed a meaning. It needed to make sense. And then the past few years, I was called to start sharing my gifts. So everything that I do is my personal practice that I've done for over 20 years. But people would come to me and ask me, what are you doing? How come you look so peaceful?
I do love that question.
And women too, they're just like, you have a feminine vibrance about you, and what are you doing? And people have just been curious about my practice, and I've been asked to share. And so that's part of the book, and also the individuals that I work with in the events that I do is all about empowering women, because I believe that we've been in a world of suffering for a long time, and a lot of people are in pain. And I think women, we feel it more deep than anyone else. And it's up to us to heal it, because we've let the masculine kind of take over for a long time, and the results are mixed, let's say, on a positive note. And this, this delicious feminine energy, I think we can shift perspectives by getting women to join together and understand, their unique energetic footprint and what they can bring to the universe by letting this out in sisterhood.
So when you work with women and you're in that feminine energy and you have all of this array of all the different modalities, how do you tailor the modality to the person, or how do you use them to open the person up for healing?
We usually start with understanding energy and body work. Mm-hmm. I think one of the biggest problems women have, especially a lot of the women I work with are very successful business women. Mm-hmm. And in order to become successful, they kind of shut off their feminine body, because you don't want to lead with that in the business world, or they feel they can't. And so sometimes they lose touch with their body. So we do a lot of body work and feeling energy move through your body. And so we start there. Always start with the body. And then we go into mental frameworks. Mm-hmm. And then feeling the deep spiritual. I work with a lot of people on reconnecting to their intuitive selves. Mm-hmm. And shutting out that voice in your head that's constantly talking, so you can listen to your deep inner spirit as it speaks to you.
Yeah, that is absolutely beautifully said right there. When like a professional woman comes to you and knowing that they're out of touch with their body, they need to recenter with who they are, what would be your number one tip to share with them to start that whole process?
So it depends on where people want to go. So my individual programs are very tailored to a certain specific need. But one thing, and this is something that I offer for free on my Facebook group, is it's called the Desire Diary. And it is a 30-day exercise where every day you get in touch with your desires, because I feel like if we really understand where our desires are coming from, what we need, it's our soul speaking to us. An example of that is a woman who is like, I really need a vacation, I'm so stressed out. And then you go, well, what would you get from that vacation? And they would say things like, well, I'd be able to spend time reconnecting to my partner, I would be able to get a massage, I could relax on the beach, and so you look at, what do each of those things? Reconnecting with your partner, that gives you love. So that tells you that your soul is feeling like it needs love. And so then you go, how can I get love today? When my husband comes home, maybe I go give him a kiss and say, hey, it's time for a date night. And by doing this, by connecting with your desires on a daily basis and moving them into manifestation right away, even if it's a small thing. So you can't do a vacation today, but you can go get a massage, or you can walk outside and do some breath work, or you can reconnect with your partner. And then you put yourself energetically in that field to bring those things that you truly desire. Because what you really don't want is a vacation. You really want all the feelings that surround the vacation. And so this is a process of getting in touch with your feelings by writing your desires every day.
Wow, I like that. And I'm going to incorporate that. I love to journal, and I love to write things and keep lists, like my manifestation list and all of that. I've never thought about keeping a, writing down all of my desires that way, because in my brain, that sounds a little different than writing a manifesting list of things you want to create. So why not have those desires? That's incredible right there. Absolutely. One of the things that I wanted to ask about too, with your sound healing, and I see a bunch of beautiful gongs and things behind you. What if someone was to come to a sound healing, what should they expect or what would they receive?
Oh, it's very interesting because I feel like every sound healer is, it's a form of music as well as healing. Everybody does it a little bit differently. I find people find the gongs a lot more intense. To me, the gongs are body work. The vibration, you feel it so much more in your body. And it's a way of releasing negative energy. So I usually will start out with the gongs. They are not as peaceful as the bowls. So some people are like, oh, I thought this was going to be soft and gentle. And it's not as much as the bowls. With the bowls, it's one of my favorite things. I combine the bowls with breath work, and it sends you into a lucid state. So some people fall asleep when they go into a sound healing because it just instantly relaxes your body. In fact, my cleaning lady was here the other day, and I was listening to a video that I had recorded, and she's like, oh, I just want to lay down and take a nap. It's so relaxing. She goes, can you keep that? I go, I'll shut it off. She goes, no, keep it on. So yeah, it definitely puts you in a different state. And I've had clients who, get visions and things from the combination of the breath and the sound bowls. And it's beautiful. My favorite thing is when people wake up, they have this dreamy look on their face, like they're in love. It's so beautiful. Their eyes are soft. And when I've worked with couples, it's a beautiful thing. I sit them up and have them face each other and stare into each other's eyes from that place of really, it's heart opening. It truly is.
Wow. All right. That was just beautifully spoken there. Everyone, we're going to take a quick little break here for our sponsor, and we'll be back in just a moment. I have a few more questions for Tobie, and you are not going to want to miss this. Get what you always wanted. Abundant life is possible. Transform your lifestyle in just weeks with the most innovative system developed for heart-centered business professionals who seek change today. You are one step away from creating infinite prosperity, happiness, and love. Grab your bonus link now that's in the show notes. All right, welcome back, everybody. And we are here at the Healing Heart podcast. And our guest today is Tobie Ward. We are talking about all things healing, the Kundalini energy and breath work and sound healing. And she's an artist and an author. And it's all about connecting to your divinity and amplifying others to change the world. One of the questions that I have for you, Tobie, is when your clients come to you, what are some of the typical issues that they would like to uncover or to have healed or to have better in their life? And what are the typical results your clients can expect?
So, wow. There tends to be two paths that I see. I either work with people who have gone through trauma and come out of it. It's a gentler process, what I do with people who are dealing with trauma. And we really focus on getting the message so that you can receive the healing. Because I believe that every trauma is an experience that we chose for personal growth. And so making meaning from the trauma, no matter how difficult it is, I think is an important step for those people. Then the other group, and I probably have a lot more of these, are people who just feel disconnected, both men and women, but especially women, they somewhere around their 30s and 40s, there comes this moment as you're transitioning into midlife, and the kids don't need you as much anymore, and you're just like, who am I was all these labels. I was a teenager, and then I was a college student, and then I was a mom, and then I was a successful businesswoman, but who am I underneath all of those labels that I've placed on myself and other people have placed on me? Who am I? And that's probably the largest group of women that I work with is people who want to find their authentic self after feeling a little lost.
Awesome. One of the things you mentioned earlier is your book. And of course, I'm always curious. I'm an avid reader. So tell us more about that and what your readers can expect from it.
Okay. So I'm actually a fiction writer, and I've written screenplays, and I'm finishing up a sexy book that my mom asked me to write.
I love it.
I know. She was a big fan of 50 Shades of Grey, and I was like, okay, she wanted me to write something sexy for her. So I'm finishing that up. But this book, the nonfiction book that I'm writing, is really about relationships and archetypes. And this is a book that I started the methodology I used when I was a dating and relationship coach, teaching women how to find this inner archetype. So it has 4 queens, and we all have all 4 of these, but one of them tends to be the most pronounced, right? The one, it's like your go-to queen. And so it goes in depth as to all of the characteristics of that particular queen. So, for example, the Queen of Hearts. So the Queen of Hearts has a very youthful spirit. She's super creative, a little flighty. She just kind of floats through life. She has a million friends, very social person. And then we talk about if you're not in attunement, like if something's out of whack there, the negative qualities that come from that archetype. And then the second half has to do with men and the 4 male kings and the types of kings and how each of those queens relates with their partner king. And it's beautiful because you can use it. When I was coaching single women, they would use their queen archetype to figure out what kind of king was the best match for them, so they could recognize that character when it came into their lives. Now, if you're already in a relationship, the great thing you can do is you can recognize when that king is a little out of alignment, and you can switch your queen's behavior to turn him back into his strength, to help him get back where he needs to go.
I love it. I need this book. So when can we find it? Where can we find it? When can we have it? What is the title? Give us all of those juicy details. Because I want it now.
I don't have a title yet. I don't, like I said, this is all based on work that I had. So, but everything right now is going to be published in my Facebook group, which is Ecstatic Alchemy. So you can check me out there for all of my updates, and it should be out April or May. I'm going to self-publish it, and so maybe you can have me back. I'll read some excerpts.
Yes, I want to get a copy.
Give everybody.
I want to read it, and then we can do another podcast.
Oh, fabulous!
I love it, and I love how you structured it, how you read it. Because my question was, well, what if you're already in a relationship? And I'm like, my husband goes out of balance quite a bit. I probably should learn about this because I can shapeshift him into a different role if I knew how. So what fun that is. All right. Share with us all of your details, how people can get in touch with you if they want to look you up to be a client or learn more about you, and then share your Facebook group again so we can all join.
So I work with individuals usually through referrals, and I'm based in Austin. And you can email me, Tobie@ecstaticacademy.com, and I can send you my Calendly link that way. But if you just want to touch base and see all the things I'm doing, when the book is out, I'm also going to be doing some free classes around the Desire Diary. And if you want a free downloadable PDF of the Desire Diary, you can go to Ecstatic Alchemy at Facebook.
All right.
I can answer questions there.
Perfect. And I'm going to be doing that myself here. And all of that information as well is going to be in the show notes. So definitely go and look at that, pull it up, and then connect back with Tobie, because she has amazing things going on. And I know we are just barely scratching the surface of a very vast topic of all of her information, knowledge, and wisdom there. So thank you, Tobie, so much from my heart for you coming on to the Healing Heart podcast and being our guest today.
Thank you. It was beautiful. I had a lot of fun. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And as always, the world always needs more healers. So keep listening, join our social media, and keep following, because each week and every week we bring to you a different aspect of healing. And for the rest of you, just go create a beautiful day.